Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Modulus Demolisher 2-in-1. This is one of the blasters from my Black Friday haul. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked at the end of the video, as well as in the description below. According to the unofficial Nerf wiki, this blaster came out in 2018, though the box says it came out in 2020. It currently retails on Amazon for $55.99 USD, but I purchased it on Black Friday for $39.99 USD. The box is a very simple packaging, has a couple of bits of information on it, including the blaster's battery requirements of 4 AA's, its recommended age of ages 8+, and a small content list. Includes Demolisher 2-in-1 blaster, stock, 2 elite missiles, clip, magazine, with 10 elite darts, and instructions. Pretty simple packaging, so with that out of the way, let's get this thing out of the box and see what's inside. Alright, so here we have the Demolisher out of the box. As usual, let's start off with our instructions. Very simple set of instructions telling you how to use the missile launcher and how to load the blaster. I do find it funny that this is the original Demolisher's set of instructions, because it has the Elite logo on it, not the Modulus one, so I kind of find that interesting. Also, what I kind of find funny is they included 10 of the Nerf Elite darts, the original dark blue Nerf Elite darts, not the Elite 2.0 ones, which are that weird other color to them, but these are the Nerf Elite darts, the original ones, so that's kind of funny. You also get 2 of these. These are the Nerf Elite missiles. Not a lot of blasters these days use these. Maybe a couple of the Fortnite rocket launchers do, but other than that, there's actually very few blasters that use these days. I've actually never held one of these. It's actually the first time holding one of these Nerf missiles, so that's pretty cool. Here we have our 10-round magazine. It's the 10-round curve. Really like these magazines, so it's nice to have another one. And here we have our Demolisher stock. This stock is specifically designed to store your missiles in. So you can have one here and one in the blaster. Speaking of the blaster, here we have the Demolisher. So this is a standard semi-automatic motorized flywheel blaster. Has a rev trigger on the bottom and a main trigger to push the darts into the flywheels. You have your magazine release here to remove your magazine. But the part that makes this blaster unique to a lot of the other blasters out there is its missile launcher. All you do is you load a missile in through the front here, like so, and then you pull this forward and push it back to fire. The power is all based on how hard you pull back on the handle here. Of course, that was a very weak shot because I'm not really used to using this thing yet. The blaster features 2 rails, one on top here and one on the side. It also includes a barrel lug up front to attach different barrel extensions. This blaster doesn't come with any, but we have this Modulus sharpshooter barrel here. Fits on there really nice. And it has a stock attachment point to install your Demolisher stock. All right, so let's check magazine compatibility. We're going to start off with the 18-round magazine. The lump doesn't get in the way here. 25-round drum. Also, nothing's getting in the way there. 12-round dart zone. Does not work. And I don't really have any hope this 15-round Pro magazine will fit, and it does not. So it appears to only be compatible with mostly Nerf magazines. All right, so let's get batteries in this blaster. We have our battery compartment right here. And as mentioned on the box, it requires 4 AA's. So I have here some Kirkland signature AA's. Okay, there appears to be a lock on the magazine probably, right? Hopefully. Okay, there's a lock on there. And there also appears to be a lock on the jam door, so there is that. Let's get this blaster loaded up. Okay. Okay, seems to rapid fire pretty well. So that out of the way, let's get this thing out on the range and see how it fares. All right, here we are down on the range. We're going to be starting off with our distance test. As usual, for context, the chicken marks 25 feet, The swan marks 35 feet, the frog marks 40 feet, and the far back wall marks 50 feet from where I'm standing. We're going to be starting off with Nerf Elite, and we're going to be firing 10 shots of each dart today. Also, we're going to be doing a range test with the missile launcher as well. But we only have 2 shots of that, so... Alright, let's see how this fares. Okay, we're going to rapid fire. Alright, now we're going to move on to Adventure Force. Okay, rapid fire. It's making weird sounds. Odd, I thought that was something else, but I guess it's the Demolisher is making weird noise. Anyway, let's move on to our last dart, which is a dart zone. Okay, rapid fire. That is very concerning. This blaster is very concerning. I'll have to look at that later. But now let's move on to our rocket missile launcher test. Let's see how this fares. I'm going to try to slam it back as hard as I can. we hit the roof. Okay, that was as hard as I could. Hit the 35-foot mark. Yeah, other than the concerning noise that the Demolisher is currently making, the results are actually quite surprising to me. With Nerf, they're kind of going all over the place, which, I mean, is to be expected. It's Nerf. But it was landing around the 40-foot mark. But what I'm most surprised about is Dart Zone and Adventure Force. Both of them were landing around the 40-foot mark, fully charged, and kind of going towards the 35-foot mark during rapid fire, but that's still a pretty good range. Still going to be doing the rest of the review, even though the Demolisher is making weird noises. I will probably check that out on a later date. So, with all being said, let's move on to our accuracy test. Alright, so here we are at the accuracy test. As you can see, we have our targets set up over there. We're going to be starting off with Nerf Elite, and see if we can hit anything. And hopefully the Demolisher doesn't die out on me. Doesn't seem to have any problems with the rev anymore. Anyway, that, by the way, is your sight picture. I know the missile seems to be in the way, but yeah, it kind of ends up getting in the way when you shoulder this thing with one of the missiles. Should be fine. All right, so we can hit anything. Let's move on to Adventure Force. Honestly, this blaster is very accurate, but let's see how it works with Dart Zone. Let's see. Oh, there it goes again. Yeah, it's making the noise again. And then it stopped. Okay, that's kind of weird. Anyway, other than that weird noise it's making, seems to be pretty accurate, actually. Yeah, seems to be able to use darts, doesn't seem to have any problems, haven't had any jams with it. Oh, yeah, before we completely forget, let's try out see how accurate our missile launcher is. That was weak. I should have slammed it back further. Well, the missile launcher is pretty hard to aim. It probably requires a lot of practice. Well, that should do it for all of our tests. Let's take this thing back to the table and give you my final thoughts. All right, here we are back at the table. Gonna be talking about the Modulus Demolisher 2-in-1. So it's been a few days since the accuracy test was recorded. So I've had some time to think about my thoughts on the Demolisher. Usually I like to record them within the same day or a day later. But with this one, I had to think it over a little bit. So in the previous parts of this video, I sound kind of optimistic and have a fairly positive opinion of the Demolisher. But giving you a couple days to think about it, I've come to the conclusion that I find the Demolisher kind of underwhelming. Before we do that though, I do want to mention some things I actually like about the Demolisher. I really like the controls in this blaster. They're very snappy, very easy to use. Rev trigger is fairly light. The mag release is really easy to use. The main trigger is snappy, just a very nice trigger. The blaster is surprisingly powerful and accurate. That was quite the surprise here. And I also like the various customization options you have with the rails, barrel, and stock. Always like that. While it does have magazine compatibility issues, it doesn't really seem to have issues with other brands of darts. Seems to use those really well. Also would like to mention some of the things I don't really like about the Demolisher. I'd already mentioned before there's magazine incompatibilities with this blaster, but it's just other brands of magazines, it seems. Doesn't seem to have any issues with any of the Nerf ones. The grip isn't the most comfortable in the world. It does start to hurt after holding it for a while. Also not helping the grip situation is the fact the blaster is really front heavy. I don't know why. I'm guessing because the motors are a little bit further forward and you have your battery pack here, so it's not balanced like some of the other motorized flywheel blasters. I don't think it's the missile launcher is adding all that weight because it is made of a thinner plastic, so I won't blame this for that. But it is really front heavy and it gets uncomfortable to hold after a while. And in my opinion, the front grip of the missile launcher is not the best place to hold because your arms kind of held downward. I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable for me. The stock, let's just take the stock off. The stock is probably one of the most uncomfortable stocks I have ever used, in my opinion, just my opinion. I know some people like this stock, I personally don't. It's really thin, has a lot of jagged edges on it. It's just not comfortable at all. And then if you have a missile and you try to aim while having this shouldered, your eye kind of just looks into here at the missile, not able to aim through any sights. I mean, of course, if you had like an elevated sight up here, you know, on the rail, then you could be able to, but it's not the most comfortable thing to aim with. But if you do remove the missile and you put your cheek on here, you have this edge here that just kind of cuts into your cheek. Not the most comfortable stock either. And it for sure does not help the weight distribution because this thing is like super light. Now let's talk about the missile launcher. This is the part I'm referring to when I say this blaster is underwhelming. Maybe underwhelming isn't the right term to be used. Maybe just disappointed, I guess. It's because I had a lot of hope that this missile launcher would be really cool and really fun to use, but I just didn't have any fun using it. It's really hard to aim and really hard to use. The amount of force required to fire this rocket any reasonable amount of distance is a lot. And if you're holding this blaster normally and trying to launch it, your aim kind of shifts around, making it even more hard to aim. Good luck hitting anybody with this at a further range. I mean, I guess it all depends on the game you're playing with. these missiles. Could have a rule that says it's area of effect damage, right? It's like, oh, where it lands, its AoE damage goes out to, 2 feet. So anyone within a 2-foot circle is out, kind of thing, is hit. But if you're just trying to use this to hit somebody, yeah, good luck. And another issue I kind of realized is rocket replacements. There's not that many of the official Nerf ones out there that much. I don't see them at Walmart. I don't see them at Target anymore, any of the major retailers. I'm pretty sure you could find one, probably a random rocket pack, refill pack at Big Lots or one of those stores. And on Amazon, you could buy a 4-pack of official Fortnite ones for $28, which is quite a bit for these rockets. Not to say these rockets are flimsy. I don't think they are. They seem pretty durable. These fins don't feel like they're gonna rip off anytime soon. There's pretty good quality here, but you lose one or you need more of them, they're gonna be a little hard to get if you want the official ones. Now they have the unofficial ones, but I don't know how good of quality the fins are, the heads. They all have a different head on them too. So I don't know if they're any good or any better. Maybe their air seal might be wrong, but I don't own any, so I can't really judge those. And those come in usually a 4-pack for $10 or something like that, at least the ones on Amazon. But that is just something to keep in mind if you're interested in purchasing a Demolisher. But that all being said though, would I recommend picking up a Demolisher? For the average consumer, the average person looking to buy a blaster, just a blaster, I would say definitely pass on the Demolisher. Just because scarcity of the rockets, and in my opinion, not a great gimmick. There's a lot of other better options out there, like for instance the Modal Blitz. I would recommend that one over the Demolisher. Now, if you're a collector or somebody who really wants a Demolisher, I would say wait for this blaster to go on sale. It currently retails on Amazon for $55.99 USD, which to me is really steep. This blaster right here, there's not that many accessories to justify the $56 price tag, and to me it's a little bit of an underwhelming blaster to begin with. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the Demolisher. Comment your thoughts about the Demolisher down below. What do you think about the missile launcher? Do you think it's a fun gimmick, or do you have the same opinion as me? Comment what else you want to see on the channel. I'm open to a lot of suggestions, trying to figure out what to do for next year. Be sure to check out the Black Friday haul video where this blaster was first ever mentioned. Be sure to check out my other reviews. I'll have both those linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.